Hey there, so my name is Julian and I'm with Memberstack, and we're also here with Duncan from Memberstack. And what we want to do here in this video is talk about Bricks Builder. So I have been a Webflow power user since I think 2017, 2018, and Duncan pretty similar in and around there, if not maybe even longer. And I only recently, about a month ago, started using Bricks Builder. And as someone who's used WordPress in the past, I was kind of horrified of it because of some not so great experiences that I've had. But once I picked up Bricks Builder with my Webflow experience, it was a dream. And Duncan here also wants to learn how to use Bricks Builder. So what we decided to do was come together today on this call, and I'm actually going to teach him how to use it live. He's never used it before. And you're going to get to see how it looks like when a Webflow user is using Bricks Builder for the first time. So, Duncan, are you excited?
Let's go. I'm ready. I'm ready. I've seen the
Sweet.
things that you've
All
built so
right.
far, and every time I'm like, okay, I gotta get into this, gotta learn how to do it. But there's always that like barrier to entry of a new tool. It took me a year to learn how to use Make, only because I just wouldn't look up a tutorial. I wouldn't take that first step. So we're gonna do that today with Bricks, and I'm ready to go.
Exactly. Now you don't need a tutorial because I'm right here. And with that
Yeah,
being
real deal.
said, sweet, share your screen. Let's get into it. So all Duncan has right now is a account, and he's downloaded the local app. So if you don't have that, just search up local WP on Google, and that is essentially the easiest way to start a WordPress site from scratch on your computer. If you're used to Webflow, you know you can just kind of click new site and start building. WordPress is not like that, but local over here makes it a lot easier. So here we are. First thing to do is, I don't know if you actually have to log in. May as well. There we go. So yeah, anyone watching this, you can see we are quite literally going from scratch.
All right, I'm gonna do what you say, starting now. Got distracted. Early
Beautiful.
distraction, but now we're back.
All good. It happens. First things first, create a new site once the spinny wheel of death goes away.
Yep. Okay, so let's see. So I might just close this. We might do a little restart. Okay, so note to future users, don't try to log in.
Yeah, I don't think you need to log in.
Force quit. So there's that. We're good. There's that. Okay, we'll get local back open. All right, so we'll just pick it up from here. Create a new
There you go.
site. Okay, sign, spin up a new WordPress or headless. Now you gave me some zip files. Should I start from those or just create a new blank one?
No, so just create a new site. This create from a blueprint is a pretty cool feature. Basically, WordPress is full of plugins. You always have plugins on a WordPress site. And let's say you use, let's say, Bricks, Advanced Custom Fields, and a couple other plugins. You could create a blueprint so you don't need to install them every time. But here we're going from scratch, so no blueprints.
Cool. All right, that look good.
That looks beautiful. Preferred is fine.
Do I need these?
Yes, you don't need to change the WordPress email, but you are going to need to enter this in right away. And my recommendation to you, I know this is just for a demo, but people like to hack WordPress sites. So generally, if you're using this for any production site, make it a strong username and password instead of just like 0000.
Great. So this is not my like general WordPress username. I'm creating a new user on this site.
Yeah, so this is actually, there isn't one centralized WordPress account. There is WordPress.org. There's an account for that with plugins and stuff. But every WordPress site has its own completely separate login.
Okay,
Sweet.
cool. I'm already
All right,
learning
there
new
we
things.
go. There we go. And everything looks scary, but pretty soon it won't be. So once this right here is done, there you go. You'll have to enter that in.
That's not my username, so let's see.
Yeah, that might cause some issues. Just to be clear, this is your computer user.
I see, I see.
Yeah, yeah. So like when
Interesting,
you
and what's
log
my
into
name?
your Mac.
Gotcha.
There we go. Okay, I think yeah.
That's funny, the UI was relatively similar. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna log in already,
Yeah, it
let's do it.
is. They they did a nice UI with this. It fits in with Mac. So just click WP admin
Yeah,
now.
I like this. All right.
There we go. And then
All right, now
enter
I'm
now
logging
the
in.
username and password that you just created.
Or email. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I think the email should work. I've only used username.
All right, cool. I'm gonna go ahead and do yeah, username then, and then I'm in.
There we go. All right, so you are now in, and if you've ever tried to build a site with WordPress, as you can see, local makes it a lot easier, like just a few clicks and you're done. So here we are, brand new WordPress setup. The first thing that you are going to want to do is go hover over appearance and click themes. There we
Too
go.
quick?
And
Okay,
then
themes.
perfect. And then click add new theme and then upload theme. And then we have those zip files that I sent you. So the first one you're going to want to upload is the Bricks 1.12.1, not the child theme. There you go. Hit install
Cool.
on
Is this
that.
basically, is this like Bricks Builder that we're installing right now?
Yeah. We're actually installing Bricks Builder directly from the zip file. And after this, when we get into the child theme, I'll explain something pretty cool that is definitely not the case with Webflow. So let's see. Let that load. And then once it's done, it's going to ask you to activate it. There you go.
Oh, I hit it twice.
Okay, I think this is because you clicked it.
Okay, so
Yeah.
there's another lesson. Be patient. Don't hit the button twice.
There you go.
Should I just replace?
Yeah, you can replace it. And then click activate.
There we go.
And the next thing that you're going to want to do is activate license.
Cool. Should I? Yeah, we'll just blur, I guess, or whatever.
And then there we go. So I sent you a license key. Paste that in.
I want to say that's probably it. There it is.
Yep, there you go. All right, so one thing about Bricks licenses is they are paid per site. At least as of the time of recording this, Bricks has a lifetime deal for unlimited sites, which is pretty sweet. But if you're on a local site, then it won't use. So you can use it unlimited times on a local site without any issues. So now you have this set up, and that means you officially have Bricks. So Duncan, tell me, what do you want to do right now? What do you want to build?
That's a great question. Well, I mean, we're thinking about building that like component sharing site. So I'd say let's just build a simple component. Could I build a button with a nice hover interaction?
There we go. Let's do it. So go over to pages on the left sidebar.
All right. Pages.
There you go. And then click create new or add new page. There we go. And then you can just click X on this block editor. This itself isn't Bricks. This is the native WordPress Gutenberg editor. I don't really know how to use it, so let's leave it. But you are going to name the page now. So call it home or literally anything you want to call it. And hit publish. There you go. Just right there at the top. And then I'm going to show you something before we get into Bricks that confused me a good bit. So when you create a site in Webflow, you get your home page right away and you start building. With WordPress, that's not the case. It doesn't actually know what your home page is. You need to tell it that. So click the little WordPress logo in the top left corner.
All right.
And then go into settings and click settings and then click reading. Third one. There you go.
So random.
And then, isn't it? But once you learn it, it's not hard, but it is very confusing, especially for us Webflow users. So there you go. Now you would select home buttons and hit save at the bottom and you're good to go. And then now you can go to pages and then you're going to actually see when you hover over the specific page in your list, it's going to say edit with Bricks and you could click that and then we will be in Bricks. There we go.
That's more like it.
Here we are in Bricks and now you're starting to feel a little bit at home. This starts to feel a lot more like Webflow than everything we've done up until this point. So a couple things I'm going to explain in Bricks that are really, really cool. We won't necessarily use all of them, but if you hit settings in the top bar near the top left, just the little cog icon, there you go, and you click theme styles, and then click the plus and call it anything, call it Duncan, call it my theme, anything you want to call it. There you go. Now, if you scroll through this list, we won't actually edit anything, but you can set the styling, all of these different things. So imagine if you could tell Webflow, hey, all buttons should look like this by default. You can override them with classes, but you can do all of this for sections, containers. It saves you a lot of time. So this is a really cool feature. We won't get too much into it in this video, but this is something Webflow doesn't have that I find really, really useful. So I'll let you just click around
Beautiful.
there and feel free to
That's
narrate
cool.
whatever you're seeing.
Yeah, no, it's very cool. I get a lot of the CSS like controls that I would want. So here under the button. Oh, that was all under typography. Wow. So there's actually more than I would expect in
Oh
terms
yeah.
of like CSS control. That's all in there. Text shadows in there. Then I've got my colors, borders, outlines. Okay, yes. Very cool. We'll go with the nice Memberstack blue, which actually text expander is disabled in here, so that's interesting. But this is cool. This is very
Oh
cool.
yeah. So this is just the overall theme stuff. If you're building a bigger site, you would want to do this, but you're just building a component in this case, so we will skip away from that. So here you have a section and a container that you've already placed. So you can use the navigator structure on the right just like you could in Webflow to
Oh,
drag
there it
that
is.
into the
Okay.
container.
Gotcha. Nice. Okay.
There you go. Now it
Very
is
cool.
officially in the container. And now, one thing that is very different with Webflow and with Bricks is in Webflow, when you create an item, you need to add a class to that item. If you start styling it before you add a class, it's going to give you some automatically generated like div block 4 name, and it's not very nice. And
Mm-hmm.
Webflow classes work using the combo class system. Bricks has two things. It has tags, and a tag is, as you can see here in the, I'm going to call it class name selector. You see that BRXE, whatever. Now, if you want to start styling this button, you can do that, and it's going to apply the styles to this tag. So just this one individual button, you don't need to worry about conflicts or anything. So picture this in Webflow. Let's say you're building a hero section, and you need to add 25 pixels of margin to, I'll tell you about that clipboard error in just a second. But yeah, let's say you want to add 25 pixels. You need to create a new class, even if you're only going to use it once, which isn't very effective. But with Bricks, you can literally just add padding to the tag itself. Quickly, to let you know, the reason why the copying and pasting didn't work is because, do you see how it says not secure in the top left of your screen? You need to go on your computer and trust the local SSL certificate. It's not hard. If you want, I can show you that, let's say, after we make this button.
Cool. Sounds good.
Sweet. So here's what I will let you do right now. Style the button to your heart's content. And just to let you know, you're currently editing the tag and not the button class.
Okay. How do you know that? I believe you, but how do you know that?
If you click button right now, you'll know what I'm talking about. There you go.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So
Cool.
it's
Okay. Cool,
not
cool,
the
cool.
most clear, but you get used to it.
I mean, no, now that you've showed me, it's like it's default, right? Nothing's active, nothing's selected, so I'm styling the base level element. But if I select something higher level, I can now update that styling.
Yep,
I'm liking this. This is cool.
exactly.
Okay, so
And
we've got
another
that.
really cool thing when it comes to the classes is I mentioned that Webflow works on a combo class system. Bricks works on a global class system. So what you could do, for example, is add to this class, you could add button, font family, secondary, text color white, and a whole bunch of different classes. And it's not going to work like a nested combo class in Webflow. It's just each class applies its own rules.
Nice.
So I won't dig too deep into that, but you will start to notice that it works differently. So as you can see here, there's not that much of a difference to Webflow. I mean, on the right side, we have the structure or navigator as it's called in Webflow. And on the left side, we have the styles, which is flipped from Webflow. But I mean, you get used to it pretty fast.
Let's see. If I wanted to add a radius, it'd probably be under border. Nope. Where would I? Oh, cool. So you can add CSS
Oh, yeah.
directly. That's cool.
You can add CSS directly onto elements, onto classes, which is super, super cool. If you want to add a radius, then you need to go and edit the border. And then the radius settings are within there. These
Under
are
the border.
those
Okay.
things which take a little, see, so here you have radius. You could click to link them, and then you won't need to enter it in all 4 boxes. So let's say, there you go.
Cool. And then this is the border. So I could add like a bottom border. Cool. So we have CSS variables. I love that.
Yes.
Style solid. A color. We'll do like black just to see. There we go. So there's a button. Cool. Now what about a hover state? How do we do that?
So something that is pretty cool with Bricks is if you look at the top left where you see a B, and then there's a little cursor to the side of it, states pseudo classes. So now you can select, and hover is one of the 3 that are automatically built in. So if you click select or create pseudo class at the top, there you go, and then hit hover.
Cool.
Yeah, so another cool thing about this is that you can actually create them. So you know how in Webflow you have that drop-down list of whatever the element allows. So hover and this and that. And if you want to go around that, you need to write the custom code. Here you could just create your own pseudo class like nth child even and then style it and it'll work.
Very cool. Okay, so right now I'm editing the pseudo class. So if I want to change the background color. Oh yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say one thing to ask you. I'm not sure if you set your styles on the button class or on the tag, but currently you're editing the tag.
Yes, yep, all is on the tag.
Yes, there you go, but it works. And now one final thing is let's go ahead and add a transition. So go into CSS, the CSS tab, and there isn't, unfortunately, a nice kind of UI-based way to add these transitions. You write it as you would with CSS. So background color, 200 ms ease, I believe should be the one. I don't think you need the colon in there. I think just like, yeah, I think that'll work if you want to give it a try now.
It worked.
There you go. There you go.
Slow it down.
So one thing that I will say with Bricks is that Webflow is a much more mature product in the sense that certain things like a grid editor or adding transitions and stuff like that, Webflow has a very neat, tidy, and easy to use no-code UI. Whereas Bricks being, I believe Bricks came out in 2022. It's currently January 2025. So it's a very new product, and I think it's a small team building it. So they are doing an amazing job, but there are certain things that you will still be missing from Webflow. But the beautiful thing about Bricks is that it's made to be expanded on. It's made to be edited. So as you can see, they didn't try to create some kind of half-effort little editor. Instead, they let you write code. So the beautiful thing is you could work with ChatGPT and say, I want it to do a transition that looks like this. Can you send me the CSS? And that CSS will fit into Bricks absolutely perfect, which I really, really, really love. So there you go. You're creating variables already. I didn't even tell you about that. You have this class manager that you were just looking in, which is super cool.
Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to try this real quick because it's like if I go in here. Okay, so I'll need to do the entire thing then as a variable? No, wait. Oh, that's how you do it. Okay, so you do that, and then you say background color ease.
Yes.
Which in that case, I'd probably
think that's good.
Like I could probably be more efficient in the future if I were going to do this on a real site. I would go ahead and create a variable which is the speed. So it'd be like 150 milliseconds space ease. And then I would make that the variable. That way I'm not having to type all this other stuff.
Yep.
But that's
exactly.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, the variables are sweet. And I'm trying to think about, obviously, just like with Webflow, we could not right now go ahead and make one video where you learn everything there is to know. But I'm trying to see if there's anything else that I can tell you right here that's going to be super, super useful. Breakpoints work in the exact same way as they do in Webflow, so there's nothing there. I think from this point, the only thing you need to do is go around, play with it, try different things, see what works, see what doesn't work, and just try it out. But if you want to, now I can get in and I can show you why you weren't able to copy and paste, which is something that I imagine new Webflow developers watching this video and trying to replicate it are also going to get annoyed about. So I want to make sure I can help you with that.
Yes. Let's do, well, real quick, how do you make a new page?
Sorry?
Oh, create. Oh, nice. I just figured it out. You can search or create a new page. So I want to make a like pricing page, save. Now we have a pricing page. Great. Okay, I'm ready to fix my settings.
Awesome. That I actually didn't even know. I just create pages through the WordPress admin and then edit them through Bricks. Oh, you have to save, by the way. So there's a little save in the top right corner.
Oh, nice.
And once you hit that, your changes get published. So that's probably pretty important. Good thing we covered that one. And now, one more thing that I am going to tell you is now if you want to preview
the text
this,
changes every time.
it is. Sometimes there's some fun stuff in there. Now, if you want to see what this looks like live, one, there's a little eyeball next to the save button to just preview it. But if you want to actually get that UI, get the actual URL and look at it that way, then it's the same URL that you see right here. It's Duncan1.local, but without the Bricks run.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were to right now open a new tab that was just Duncan1.local, you would have your live site open. And then there you go. So now you can see exactly what that button looks like. And now, would you be able to go into your WordPress admin again?
Yeah, good question. I would assume click here.
Yes. There you go. Perfect. And go into settings. I believe in general. There you go. And then right here where it says WordPress address, change the HTTP to HTTPS and then save it.
Okay.
Sorry, there's actually two fields you're going to want to change. Sorry, it's too late now. That's okay. You'll be able to change the other one after. Now what you're going to want to do is open local again.
Okay, local. The app?
Yes. And then you'll see the SSL field. And you want to click trust. And it's going to ask you again for, look at that, I got balloons.
Yeah, that didn't work. Okay. Bam. Heads up.
There you go.
We ran into an issue. Probably because there's like,
that,
do it right.
That is always the case. So now you're going to want to open the Keychain Access app on your Mac. By the way, I believe from what I've read, this isn't an issue with Windows, only with Mac. So if you're with Windows, I think you can just click trust and you're done. But here, click open Keychain Access. There you go. And then search Duncan1, the name of your site. There you go. And then this one right here, I think either okay. So click trust, the little panel right at the top of this whole confusing list. And just when using the certificate, always trust. There you go. And then you simply need to close this little window, enter your password for the 700th time. There you go. And now, I believe it should be trusted. So now if you want to go and try to refresh your site, you shouldn't. Yeah, okay. So now you can see it's working. Hit remember me, log in. There you go. And now in here, it says WordPress address, and then there's one more field, site ad. Okay, they're both good. You're fine. Now you can go to Bricks, and now you can copy and paste just like in Webflow, and you're good to go.
Sweet. There it is.
Yeah. And there you go. That, I would say, this is, we've covered the perfect amount of stuff for any Webflow user to go in, set up Bricks, and get working. The only thing that I want to mention that probably should have mentioned at the start, I'm going to write something at the start and let them know about this. Those zip files that we got, you need to actually go to bricksbuilder.io, create an account, and then right after you pay, you'll get your access key and your zip files. So one more thing that I'm going to mention is in here, what we did, if we go back into the WordPress admin, one thing we didn't do is upload the child theme. So if we go right now into appearance and then themes, so here's the thing, you can just upload the Bricks theme and use it just as we have in this video. It's perfectly fine. It is not going to cause you any issues. That being said, one really cool thing about WordPress that you don't have in Webflow is you have the ability to edit the code of anything. I'm going to give you an example. I had an issue. I wanted to change my HTML tag of a div to form, and Brick said, you can't do that. Now, if I ran into that issue with Webflow, for example, that's all there is. I could find some sort of workaround, but that's it. With WordPress, I was able to literally go in and edit the code of the theme and completely remove that limitation. Now, that being said, the thing about WordPress is there are updates. Bricks Builder is going to have updates. And when that happens, your changes to the theme get wiped away, like I just said. That's the point of the child theme. So if you want to edit the code of your theme, you need to use this child theme or you're gonna have a bad time. So click install now on this child theme. And then you're gonna click activate. And as it says, Bricks is currently installed. You're good. That's uploading a child theme. And now you can actually edit the code of Bricks Builder. So if you're a power user, you can do literally whatever it is that you want at this point. Like anything, if Bricks isn't working for you in a certain way, you can edit the code and make it do whatever you want to do.
Very cool.
So there we go. Duncan, while we're here, do you have any other questions about Bricks, or do you just want to kind of dive in and do your thing later, not on this call, and have fun building?
I'm definitely feeling more confident. Ooh, this is a whole other thing. Like you said, there's no way we're going to learn all the ins and outs, but is this the equivalent of like the CMS, the Webflow CMS in WordPress? I'm able to access posts and
yes,
users,
it is.
authors.
You can access this, all sorts of dynamic data you can use. And I will be honest, here's the trade-off. Using dynamic data in Webflow is way easier than it is in Bricks, but dynamic data in Bricks is way more powerful. So that's the thing, and something I just want to, exactly, there's always some kind of trade-off, right? And one thing that I want to mention here is, here at Memberstack, if you didn't already know, we love Webflow very much, and that did not change. We're not here saying, hey, go and use Bricks and say goodbye to Webflow. Every project has its own certain requirements, and there are going to be a lot of projects where you're better off using Webflow. But there are definitely going to be projects where you're better off using WordPress. And that is why this is such a powerful thing, because now instead of you talking to your clients as a Webflow developer and simply saying, I can help with Webflow, you now have more tools in your arsenal. Picture it this way. If you're a mechanic and all you have is a hammer, well, you're just going to use that hammer to do everything, even if it's not the best time to use that hammer. And that's the case if you're a web developer who only knows one tool. You're going to try to force Webflow in situations where Webflow isn't the best tool for the job. So by you teaching yourself Bricks and WordPress as a whole, you are essentially adding another tool to your arsenal so that when your clients come to you and tell you what they want, you are going to be able to help them in the best way for them instead of just the only way that you know. I just want to make that clear. We love Webflow, but if you want to, level yourself up as a freelancer, as an agency, as whatever you may be, the more tools you know, the better. And I absolutely love Bricks.
That makes a lot of sense. Well said. Now, I do have, after that great summary, I have a very mundane question, which is, I can't edit the text of this link. What am I doing wrong?
Okay, look in the left bar. Do you see where it says text link? There you go. Yeah. You can usually edit it live on the page. I have also noticed that sometimes it doesn't work, and that's the backup. I'm sure the Bricks team would have some sort of actual explanation, but I've given you a solution.
That's perfect. Okay, so I can select an element, and I can't delete it, but I can left click. That's great. Let's see, if I want to, so Webflow has a feature which I love, which is the basically command bar, like Command K, I think in Webflow's Command E, you pop up the ability
Yes.
to like search for components and add them quickly. Does Bricks have something similar?
So actually, I thought it didn't, but I was told it does. And I
Okay.
think it's the same. I think it's Command E. It doesn't work. I use Arc browser, and for some reason, it starts trying to open like 10 Chrome plugins when I click Command E. I don't
Command
know if
Shift.
that's Brick's fault or my fault, but if not, then I actually have it written in my notes that I want to make a tool that's like Command E for Bricks.
Well, actually, good news. It does work. It's Command Shift E,
Okay,
and then you start typing. So then I could add like
there we go.
heading. See, and at this point, I would say I have a lot of confidence that it's like there are so many little this is just the way that Bricks works sort of things, like knowing that the button text can be edited here on the left, or the text can be edited on the left. And now that I'm like up, I have it running. Um, I feel pretty confident that I can figure that stuff out, and as soon as I do, this is going to be a really, really good tool. I'm
Exactly. And one
I'm
thing
excited
that you can do,
to
yeah, yeah, one thing that you can do which helps quite a bit. So I would say at this point that you're at right now, you can build a lot with Bricks. It's going to take you longer than it would with Webflow because you don't know where things are located. But one thing that helps a lot is in the styles panel on the left side, towards the bottom, you can actually search. So if you select your heading, for example, right now, and then you want to change the color, type in color. And what it's actually going to do, yes. So now you can go in and change that as you wish. This, hold on, says separator. Okay, sorry, click the heading. You need to click style first, and then you can search it. I don't know what this whole separator business is,
Okay,
but if you click the style tab towards the top, and then you search color, and then it'll show up.
good deal.
Okay, maybe color is a bit of an issue. That one's still the separator for some reason. Search anything else. Search
Oh,
font
wait,
size. That's the thing.
separator can't have a font.
Yeah, separator cannot have a font size.
Well, that's interesting.
I
So
don't
style.
understand why. It's in typography. If you search like it's there.
We found a bug.
We may have found a bug, but I can tell you right now where it is. It's in style and then typography, and you'll get there. Now you can change the color
So
and the font size.
this is great, yeah, because I don't mind. Being able to search would be really nice, and maybe we'll figure that out, and we can add like a comment in the video, add to the
Yes,
description if we figured it out. But otherwise, being able to like I think I do actually want to take time to scroll through all these options because there might be things in here that I have not worked with before that I would like to learn how. So I don't
yes,
mind.
yes. Like this transform origin stuff. There's certain things that I think Webflow handles automatically that Bricks doesn't, which again is a double-edged sword. It's great because you have full control, and it's bad because it's very confusing. But
Yeah.
all of this stuff, you get used to it pretty quickly. I would say after using this for 1 week, you're going to be about 85% as fast with Bricks as you are with Webflow. And that remaining 15% is just these little bits that are confusing you. And you find a way, and then it all gets easier. But the learning curve, honestly, isn't that hard. I think you can see that right now that it's not the craziest thing. When I started trying to get back into using WordPress, I started with a couple of different page builders and it felt so foreign to me. And I felt like I'm never, not that I'm never going to be able to learn them, but I'm always going to be sitting there daydreaming about Webflow because I just prefer it and the whole workflow of building with Webflow so much. Whereas Bricks gives me that magic that Webflow gives me, which is pretty important.
Now, I did think of something else I'd like to know how to do. This could maybe be the last thing we do together on here. Is I love the flex style settings in Webflow. I use them constantly, and I'm not
Yes.
seeing an equivalent of that yet.
Yes. So the good news, grids are harder in Bricks than they are in Webflow. Flex isn't. So select a div and put two of anything in it. Maybe you could put your button and your heading in it.
Okay. All right, so we'll go here. We have our div. We'll add a heading and a button.
There you go.
All right, we're good.
Yep, perfect. Okay, so now you have the div selected. Go to content. I don't know why it's in content and not style. There you go. You can, yeah, that's good. You can make a class. And then head into content. And it says display. So you're going to select flex. And then,
perfect.
As you can see right here, very similar to Webflow. Now, one thing that I've noticed is when you change the direction, the icons sometimes take a bit to update and it gets a little bit confusing. Like you think you're aligning it vertically start, but you're aligning it horizontally start. I don't know. You'll see. But it's very similar to Webflow for Flex.
Great. And I'll just need to poke around to figure out all the additional settings. It's going to be hard not to compare the two as I go back and forth between. I'll be like, oh, I wish this was like Webflow, or oh man, I wish Webflow had this. But it's like I guess that's the nature of the beast. Two different tools.
Exactly.
Two very different prices. It's going to be, yeah, I'll use them in different situations for sure.
Exactly. That was my experience, and that has been my experience. Every time I switch between using one and the other, I just wish that Tool A had this thing that Tool B has, which is exactly why. It's pretty awesome how you have the power now. Once you learn both of the, I mean, you know Webflow, but once you learn Bricks as well, and you know each tool's strengths, then you can make a very informed decision for which website you're going to build, why you want to use a certain tool, and it's pretty sweet. So, Duncan, I'm very glad that you now know how to use Bricks. I've been waiting for this moment. And again, I know this is just the basics, a lot of things you're going to find from just playing around with it yourself. But yeah, I hope this format of video was nice as well. If anyone's watching this and they liked it, let us know in the comments. I would love to make some more in the future. And yeah, that is about it. So with that being said, Duncan,
Julian, I have an idea.
I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yes, I have an idea. Could you share the Bricksboard site real quick? Because I feel like that is something that if right now it already existed, I would go in and I would start copying and pasting in components and just looking at the settings, looking at the styling. And so by the time people find this video, that site might be up. I may have contributed some components to it at that point. I'd love to show people kind of what the idea is and where we're at with it now. If you're open to doing that. I know we haven't planned any of this.
I am, and the site is in an incredibly basic point at this moment, but what we will do is explain the idea of what it's going to be, and then check the comments. If this is live, there will be a pinned comment with a link to it. So I'm just going to share my screen here in just a second.
Great.
There we go. Just having some connection issue, but I'm back now.
I like simple.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. You know, I think people will be able to understand exactly what this is going to be. So here we are right now. And as you can see, we've got these three components. And what we realize is this. Something that we love about Webflow is, it was called the Webflow Showcase. Now it's called Made in Webflow. And it's essentially an open community of people who can post what they've built for other people to clone and use. We've realized that Bricks does not have that, and we really want to bring that to the community. So that's what we're working on right here. It's essentially going to be a website where anyone can build a Bricks component. They can go on and they can post it for other people to use. And this is great, obviously, for the end user. It's great for you as a contributor of components because you have an opportunity to market yourself, make some cool stuff, and show people what you can build. And essentially, it is just a one-click copy. So once you go to the page, you have a button to copy the component. This one right here is also going to work. And yeah, with one click, you can copy the component. For example, this one right here, and then you can head into Bricks. I'm going to actually do this one right now and just paste it in. And as you can see, this is here. I'm having some connection issues, so the images didn't upload too quick. But that's okay. So one click to copy, anyone can add to it. And I think it's going to be a really, really nice resource for the Bricks community to have.
Agreed. I'm looking forward to having access to it. Definitely want to add some components myself, but I would love to see, what people end up contributing.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed. So excited on all fronts. I'm excited that you got to try Bricks. I'm excited for us to launch this, and I'm excited to just do more in the general Bricks and broader WordPress space.
Yeah. Yep. Same. So yeah. Thank you for showing me
Sweet.
how to do this. This was fun.
No problem. This was super fun. Thank you, Duncan. I will talk to you soon.
See ya.
See ya.